Good day, everyone. I am Pisomi A. Mantisa, and today I will be discussing the purposes of assessment in reading and the different types of reading assessment. So, understanding these concepts is very important, especially for teachers and future educators. Because assessment help us know our learners better and improve our instructions. So, I will ask several questions throughout the discussion. So, please listen carefully. Let's start. So, first, assessment in reading is an essential tool for teachers because it helps them determine whether the objectives of a lesson are successfully achieved. So, this means teachers can check if students understood the reading materials or improve their comprehension skills or need further support. So, assessment can be formal like a test or quiz or informal like observing students read aloud or discussing a story. So, second, assessment help teacher identify where students excel in reading and which student needs more support. So, this ensures that instruction can be tailored to individual needs. So, for example, during a reading lesson on fables, so a teachers might ask students to summarize the story in their own words. So, if the student can identify the moral of the story, so the teacher can conclude that the lesson objective was met. So, if some students struggle, so the teachers knows additional instruction is needed. So, now let's proceed to the following authorities who share their ideas on the purposes of assessments. So, first, according to Guy Cha, assessment result along with other measurement data such as those obtained through periodic surveys are valuable not only for individual students but also for schools, so because they help evaluate how effective teaching methods are, so and how well the curriculum is functioning and whether learning goals are being achieved. Second, so Bachman explains that assessment assign a numerical value to students' performance, so which helps measure their abilities. So while Gallagher emphasizes that assessment measures the degree to which someone possesses a certain skill or qualities. For example, a reading test might have a score range of 0 to 100. So, a student who scores 85 demonstrates strong comprehension skills, while a score of 60 might indicate areas that needs improvement. So, this quantification allows teacher to track progress over time. So, third, Marion identified four major functions of assessment in instruction. So, first, we have assessment drives instruction. Why? Because this means that the result of an assessment help teacher decide what to teach next, what to reteach, and which strategies to use. So when teacher know what student already know and what they struggle with, they can adjust their lessons to match the students' needs. So my first question is, does assessment help teachers determine if students achieve the lesson objectives? So second, assessment drives learning. So assessment shows students what topics are important. So they focus their study habits based on what will be assessed. So it shapes what they know they study, how deeply they study it, and how they practice. So when students know how they are evaluated, they adjust their learning strategies. So my second question, in your own words, what does assessments drives instruction need. The third one, assessment informs students. So, assessments give students feedback so they understand what they are good and what they need to improve. So, this helps them take responsibility for their learning. So, they adjust their habits, ask questions on or focus on weaker areas. So, my third question is, how can assessment help students become aware of their strengths and weaknesses? So fourth, assessment informs teaching. So it means assessment helps teacher evaluate their teaching strategies. So not just the students learning. So if many students score low on a topic, the teacher may realize that the method or explanation used was not effective. So this allows them to change strategies and give clearer instruction or try a different approach. Assessment does not benefit only the students, but also the teachers, administrators, and school systems. So it provides data that helps improve teaching strategies and guides educational decision making. So another question, is assessment important only for students, or does it also affect teachers and institutions? So now let's proceed to the types of reading assessment. So Teach Talk identifies 6 main types of reading assessment. So each with a specific purpose. So let us go through them one by one. So first, diagnostic assessment or pre-assessment. So when we say diagnostic assessment, it is given before instruction to determine what student already know, and also this helps teacher prepare appropriate lessons. So for example, like giving a vocabulary pre-test before starting a new reading unit. Second is formative assessment. When we say formative assessment, so these are conducted during instruction to monitor progress. So this helps teachers see if students understand the lesson as goes on. So for example, like oral recitation, asking questions during discussion. And the third one, summative assessment. So summative assessments happen after instruction. So the goal is to evaluate overall learning and mastery. So for example, a quarterly or final reading comprehension exam. So another question, how is formative assessment different from summative assessment? The fourth one, so norm reference assessment. So this compares a student's performance to a larger population. So for example, standardized reading tests where the results are compared to national or school-wide data. So number 5, criterion reference assessment. So this measures performance against a specific standard or objective. So for example, a rubric for reading fluency that checks accuracy, expression, and speed. Another, benchmark assessment. So this type of assessment is conducted at regular intervals, usually every quarter or semester. So the goal is to check progress and provide feedback to teachers, parents, and administrators. So for example, quarterly reading progress monitoring test. So next, the informal reading inventory or IRI. So another important tool in reading assessment is the informal reading inventory or IRI. So the RII is used to diagnose students' reading performance, especially in phonological awareness, vocabulary, comprehension, and oral reading and fluency. So, also, according to Scout, the RII is especially useful at the start of the school year because it helps teachers identify what students already know and what skills still need to develop. So for example, a teacher's lesson to a student read a short passage aloud, and the teacher evaluates accuracy, fluency, and comprehension responses. So assessment in reading plays a vital role in shaping instruction and supporting student learning and guiding educational decisions. So by understanding the purposes and types of reading assessment, teachers can better support students in becoming capable and confident readers. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned a lot from this discussion.